I'm so psyched to have you here.
Thank you.
I've been a fan for a long time.
I appreciate it. I think we met at, do you remember Stand Up to Cancer event?
Yes, of course.
Yeah. I think we met there briefly, but it was chaos.
Those things are really, they're great because it's such a great cause and they're so well put on, but you see everybody, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You're like, oh, hey, hi. And then you're like being led away.
Yeah, exactly.
It's hey, hi, yeah, you, I, you, gone.
Yeah, I met Seth Rogen in recent years, and he said, we actually almost met at Stand Up to Cancer. You ollied off the stage and skated past me on your way out.
That's kind of
what it was, yeah.
That's kind of dope. Were you, was Skateboarder magazine still a thing in your day?
Yeah.
It was.
Yeah, that was my Bible. I mean, before I even went to a skate park, I had Skateboarding magazine.
Growing up, what was the neighborhood? Like it was a street, it was a curb.
It's a suburb of San Diego called Tierra Santa, mostly military families. My dad was in the Navy. And it was, alleyways, streets, curbs. But when you think about skateboarding at that time, it was mostly just transportation. The ollie hadn't even been invented yet, so we didn't know, the possibilities.
Right.
But I liked it because it was different than riding a bike, and my brother was into it, so I had a hand-me-down skateboard. That's how I started.
What'd you ride? What was it? Do you remember?
It was a Bane fiberglass board with Stoker wheels, and
amazing.
I believe, I'm not sure what kind of trucks they were actually.
I used to have a G&S Fiberflex.
Oh yeah,
remember the Fiberflex?
Of course, yeah. Stacy Peralta.
Yeah,
with
tracker trucks.
Yep, that's before mine. Yeah, so you're more OG than I am.
Yeah, I mean, dude, I grew up with a skateboarder named Paul Hackett. Do you remember that?
Yeah,
guy?
Sure. Yep.
That story?
Yeah.
Bro.
Yeah, it's awful.
I mean,
Dave Hackett's still around.
No way.
Yeah, still skating.
No way.
Yeah.
It was, and then the early 90s, it was like a dry period for skating, right? Would you say?
Well, for the industry, it was.
But not for you.
Well, it was hard for me. I've heard people cringe when they say like skateboarding was, when I say skateboarding was dead in the 90s, they're like, that was my time. You know what I mean? That was when the streets were alive with skating, and it was everything was new and fresh. And so I hesitate to say it died, but I was having a hard time making a living for sure, because I had some success in the 80s, and I'm young enough to think that's how it's going to be going forward. Right. It's invincible. And then all of a sudden it was like, skateboarding's not cool anymore. And you got to figure out what you're going to do, and you got a family on the way, and I had to hustle.
What do you think makes sports ebb and flow?
Well, in the case of skateboarding, it was never accepted as a traditional sport, parents didn't embrace it. And so it was more akin to toys. It was a Frisbee. It was a yo-yo. And so when I started, that was fine. Like I wasn't trying to make a living. I just enjoyed doing it, and you couldn't aspire to be rich or famous because no one was. You were just doing this toy thing. And then when I was in my 20s, after a couple of cycles of popularity, but more in the way of a hula hoop, where it was like, oh, it's big now, and now it's not. Now it's kind of big. And so when that second downturn happened, I was an adult, and it was super hard because I'm still skating as good as I ever was, but every once in a while I'd get a call from some Hollywood production. We need a skateboarder, but they need to be young. And it was like, I could do it. So I became I became like a consultant but that was a job, right? So I would go the day before the shoot, show them what to frame up, how to do it. I would perform it, and they're like, all right, cool. We'll have the kid come in tomorrow and do it right.
Wow.
Yeah.
There is something just about somebody carrying a skateboard down the street or on one of the long ones that, like, the older they are, you go, wait, what's going on?
Yeah. I get those looks. Still.
You're immune. I mean, you're the made man. You're inoculated from all of it.
Well, I will tell you, like, there's a whole new generation of skaters, right? I mean, it's prolific now. There are skate parks everywhere. Parents encourage parents skate with their kids. And so sometimes I'll show up to a skate park and the dad or something be like, hey, that's Tony Hawk. And the little kid's like, that old guy?
Oh, no, no way.
But I mean, that's fine. I think that's how it should be.
Dude, I can't even imagine what it'd be like showing up at a skate park and seeing you there. I mean, is it like, did the people just like flip?
Yeah, sometimes it causes a buzz. I think for me, there's a more selfish pride that I know they expect me to perform magic.
Right.
And it's like, I've never been here. I don't know the route. And you know, I'm not skating like I used to. So I'm just going to cruise and check it out and have fun. So I usually show up in the mornings, and we call that the adult swim hour, because that's when people more closer to my age are skating before work, or little kids are trying to learn how to skate without people flying around. So that's usually that's the golden hour.
What's the best way to learn to skate? What would you recommend? For a little kid and then for somebody who's not little?
Well, I recommend pads either way.
Right.
Because you just don't know what's going to happen, especially helmet. And I think it's more, you got to get comfortable with the motion of it. A lot of kids get into it and they want to do kickflips and they want to do big rails and jumps, and they don't have any foundational skills to get there. And that's when you start getting hurt. So I think it's more getting really comfortable on the board, being stable, learning how to turn, learning how to push properly, learning the cadence of skate parks, because you know, if you've never been to a skate park, you end up becoming an obstacle. And you got to stand in the right places and realize what the flow is there, because it can get dangerous. But I think it's more just kind of finding a flat area and getting comfortable with the motion and the balance.
What's the biggest, steepest thing you've ever shot?
Oh, like a downhill?
Yeah, like a downhill.
I'm not much of a downhill. I never went full speed. I'm not. There's a generation of skaters now that can overcome speed wobbles. I can't. Like, I have been ejected in the worst ways from my skateboard from wobbling. So I'm not trying to go fast. I would say
Why does that happen? What's the physics?
I wish I knew that.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, why? I just thought it was bad.
I mean, it's kind of like it when you're experiencing it, you just set it off with one tiny little adjustment, and then it's wobbling and it's out of control. But what was I gonna say? I think the fastest I've gone is, you know, those big air ramps with the jump, with like the 50-foot jumps. Jumping that is the fastest I've gone, and I've actually done the bigger quarter pipe, like vert ramp thing after it. And going up that wall and feeling my board start to wobble was terrifying. But it didn't go beyond control before I got in the air. So it was kind of like, oh, I'm safe. I'm in the air.
How do you train to be in the air? That's the other thing.
It's just something you work on. It's weird. There's very distinct styles of skating. So I'm a vert half pipe skater. Pools. I grew up skating pools.
Right. Yeah. That's where the air started.
That's where the air started, right? And
so I got above the coping.
That's it, yeah. Oh, I have a photo of me first time above the coping.
Dude,
amazing.
First time above the coping.
Yeah. My brother just happened to be there.
That's amazing.
But that style of jumping is completely different than how you ollie off the ground on the street. So you can tell people's styles just by giving them any kind of terrain. And like my kind of ollies off the flat are very clunky because I'm used to shooting from a vertical plane. So that's just a whole different way of approaching skating and doing it. And so when people, it really depends on kids, like, what is their motivation?
Right.
Do they want to fly, or do they want to do big stunts, down stuff? And they're just different approaches.